Good morning or good afternoon, maybe good night, depending on where you're at. I'm Dave Wescott, CEO of TransBlue. This is Vince Ortiz, Vice President of Franchise Development. And we are here on our first LinkedIn Live. So if it's a little choppy, forgive us. We'll work it out as we figure out the process. Our LinkedIn Live here is about Entrepreneurship 101. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? What does that mean to you? Is that a dream? Is that a goal? Is that something that you thought was wildly unimpossible? Well, we're here to walk you through a series of steps, a series of LinkedIn Lives. We're going to host this bi-weekly on Fridays, same bat time, same bat channel, every other week, 26 times a year. And we will give you the tips, the tricks that can help you succeed in business. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the business plan, because that's where it all starts. It all comes down to how we execute our business plan. And we're going to talk to Vince today about that business plan and about what that means. Vince has been in business for quite a while. He comes from corporate America and then owned his own business for just under a decade. And so we're going to really peer into his mind and learn from him today on what it really takes to build a successful business. So Vince, I want to start out with just a question to you. Why? Why start your own business? What drove you to do that? Why would you ever want to take that leap off the deep end?
Yeah, it's that is the $1 million question when you're first starting off, right? For me personally, having learned as much as I did in corporate America, everything from financials to, team building, leadership, it kind of gave you the tools to then start thinking about branching off, and that why question is so key. I mean, it's part of a lot of what we do here at TransBlue is focus on that. As you remember, Dave, that vision plan that we created, that it speaks to the personal goals of that individual, financial goals, legacy, and that's to determine the vehicle that's going to get you there. And the business plan that we're referring to is that vehicle, right? And focusing on that. But for me personally, it was an opportunity to really grow and build on a business and develop it, and that spoke to me, and that was important. Of course, you have other elements in your life.
Sure.
Family, right?
Yeah.
And wife, you have to have participate in an agreement, and along with other people in your world.
What made you want to take the leap? You were in corporate America.
Yeah.
You had a successful career. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you say, hey, I'm going to give this up and I'm going to start my own business. Why?
Yeah, it was time. For me, I had grown through the ranks at the business I was involved with, and for me it was a way to, like all those of you thinking, getting into business ownership is to be your own boss, to build that legacy.
Yeah.
Looking for an opportunity to just better yourself and your opportunities for your family. Sure, I had a secure, role in the business and that security, and quite frankly, that's something that it took some convincing when you talk to your wife, for example.
Right.
You need to do that in order to stay married, and that's key. But I wanted to basically take on that challenge and build on it, and close to a decade later, it was the right choice.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were looking at building your business and you were doing the research, you were still employed and you were thinking about taking the leap, mm-hmm. and you had two choices in front of you. And choice one was, do I start this business by myself? Do I bootstrap it? Do I build the website? Wait a minute. Did they even have websites back then? No, I'm just kidding.
Barely
Of course
just
they
picking
did.
up.
Of course they did. Of course they did. I'm sorry. I shouldn't take shots while we're live online. I apologize for that. We gotta get this back to normal here. So you do all that by yourself, and you don't have that coach. The other side of it is looking at a franchise, right? Looking at something that's established, looking at something that has guardrails in place, looking at something that has maybe a proven track record, looking at support. Mm-hmm. And so what did you do there? What was your methodology? What did you choose? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and that is the all part of the process, right? I mean, I did consider independent ownership. I did. As a matter of fact, being in the security distribution business, had an opportunity to buy out a business or stay within the industry, but it would be as an independent business. And then as well as a startup independent business. But I really kind of was pulled into franchising because my goal was to start fast, scale quickly, not reinvent a lot of things like marketing, those processes, systems. And that was really important to have that in place, along with a business having a track record financially, everything from revenue to the gross profit, things that will help you kind of get a fast start.
All those keys to success.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're in corporate America, you leave corporate America, you decide to start your business, you go into franchise mode, and here comes the business plan.
Right.
And you're saying, I got to plan this thing out. I want to plan out not only my start, but my exit, right?
Yep.
Because we're thinking about, I'm starting today, but where do I end this thing?
Right.
And what do I want to gain from the end of this thing? Mm-hmm. So talk to us a little bit about the business plan. Where did you find it? How did you get it? How did you know where you were supposed to do it? Where did it lead you?
Yeah. Well, you know me, Dave. I mean, organization is a big part of what I thought.
Absolutely.
So, back in 2006, there wasn't too many choices in terms of what we see now. All the different software programs that you have available to you.
Right. We didn't have the internet, right?
Yeah,
or we had it, but it wasn't like it was.
Yeah. You had to, you have to wait for the you got mail to keep things going.
Right. So if you're under 30, there was not the internet that there is today, right?
Not at all. No, right. Completely different.
So you had to go to the library, or?
No, you take information that you've picked up over the years, templates.
Sure.
But I did have to put business plans together for my what I was responsible for in branches and different businesses I was responsible for. So that wasn't new to me, but I did have to really know a brand new business because I went from a business to a completely new business.
Right.
And so you may have a template, but what do you kind of populate in that business plan?
Yeah.
And really there's two thoughts with that. One is you can have a business plan that's very strategic, especially if you're not involved in any investors or funding,
sure.
And so forth. But it was kind of pieced together by just over years of what I had available to me.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, like I said, there's a lot more options. As a matter of fact, here at TransBlue, we have templates, that talk about our business model and give people guidance on that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can make those available to you. So any of you entrepreneurs out there who are looking for a business plan template, we'd be happy to share that. I can remember when I first started my business, a couple years before you started your business, I didn't start with a business plan. I wasn't fortunate enough I wasn't as savvy as Vince, okay? I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have that strategy. I didn't have that focus. And so I was kind of like a ship lost at sea. And I was talking to this girl at the gym, right? Because that's back when I went to the gym. And that's back when I talked to girls other than my wife. And she was telling me about a business plan. And I was like, a business plan? What is this? And she said, well, let me come over to your house and I'll help you write a business plan. And I've got a template. And I was like, cool, this is awesome. Maybe we're going to do more than just write a business plan. Well, we didn't do anything but write a business plan, and that was slightly disappointing. But at the end of the day, that business plan, right, is what helps give you that strategy. It's really that GPS for the business. Where are you going? What decisions are you going to make? What does that look like? And within that business plan, we've identified, several things that are important, but are somewhat outside of business.
Yeah.
And one of those things is support. Because you can have a great business plan, but if you don't have support, from your family, from your wife, from, the people the stakeholders around you, it can be really hard.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about what support meant to you when you were starting your business. What was that in your life?
Yeah, and when you break that down, you need to, when you look at franchising, you expect that, because that's a big part of what franchise is all about is that support element. And so, take that deep dive, understand what that is and what that's going to mean to your business. We'd like to say that in franchising, here, for us is that when you start a business, you're not in business by yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And so that support element is big because you're relying on people that are experts in that field, in that specific business model, to not only kind of point you in the right direction, but also point out, hey, listen, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. Keep you from learning. And so, when you're an independent business owner, an independent model, you're on your own. You're making mistakes. You're learning from those mistakes, and it may take years to get to the point where franchising offers that template. That follow. You brought something really really important, David. And I think it's healthy. Is that exit plan? When you are writing that business plan.
Yeah.
Early on is none of us go into business to be in business for only 2 years.
Right.
We all see the industry. Statistics, in terms of a business and how long people stay in business for myriad reasons. And, the expectation is that, you want to have that exit plan, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Because again, you want to have that plan to give you that direction.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why make that investment?
Absolutely.
Spend time and effort and stress and pressure if you don't have that guidance.
Right. Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that support on the franchise side is you really have a cheerleader. Mm-hmm. You have someone that's encouraging you, somebody that's got your back, somebody that's supporting you. But more than that, you got a coach.
Right.
You got somebody who's got your back, somebody who's going to give you small directions or tweaks or help you learn, hey, you're a little left on the weak side for all those who may have played football. We got to fix that. We got to make that a little bit better. But let's take it one step further. What's important at home? What was important for you on the family side? What did that support look like? Well,
it's back then, I was just recently married and expecting our first child. And so the belief that she had in me back then was much higher. No, I'm just joking. But you do have to. It's a partnership with family, and you have to have them involved and understand because what you're doing. And for my case, you're going from a career, and all that goes with it, the responsibility, the position, the pay, and that security, and you're kind of moving away from that.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so, and we'll touch on funding here in a moment, but what happens is you need to, really kind of break that down and explain, what the process is going to be and how that's going to look like 5-10 years from now. And so for me, it was really important as I transitioned into this business venture, the new business, is to ensure that the financial aspect wasn't going to hurt my family.
Yeah.
That was real important to be able to use different products, different tools to help you build a business where you're not taken away from the potential of putting food on the table.
Now, if your wife, if your support system had said, hey, this is a no-go, what do you do?
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? I mean, I think I would have kind of had to pay her off a little bit.
So it was still happening.
I was determined to make the change and transition.
That would have been a lot tougher road, though, right?
It would have been.
And every mistake would have been huge. Yeah. It would have been blown up.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
because you want that support.
Yeah.
You want that partner. You want that, you want that team behind you saying, hey, you can do this.
Right.
Because business is great, but it's not all sunshine and roses.
No, not at all.
Right? And when the times are tough, you need that person to come alongside you and say,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Right.
So that's support, so important. So we've covered the business plan. We've covered support. We're going to talk about the passion. What was your passion? Because you got to have a passion to be an entrepreneur and deal with as much pain as an entrepreneur deals with, and also deal with as much success, right? And as much fun as we have. What was your passion? What really drove you to choose the business that you did and to, take the leap? What was the passion?
Building it from day one to where I envisioned it, year 5, for example. It was for those of us that played sports. I mean, I kind of use that analogy, right? It's your I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the development, going from point A to point B. That was my passion. Just building, being able to build something, and see the results of that, not only for myself and my family, but also the employees.
Right.
You're affecting livelihoods, and that was that energized me, but you bring something really important, Dave, because passion gets you through those moments of let's not sugarcoat it. It's starting a business. You're going to have that pressure, that stress.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it'll get you through that. But for me, it was being able to build a team, build a business, build revenue, build profits. Keyword there.
One of the things you talk about here and even at home with your boy, right, your son, is embrace the grind.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the things you're passionate about. If you know Vince is going to grind, right, and he embraced the grind, embraced that toughness. That's part of that passion, right? Mm-hmm. And so we've got a business plan. That's going to give it. That's our GPS coordinates, right? But we got to be passionate about what we're doing. We got to be committed and we got to be into it.
Right.
And then we got to have the support system around us. And those are the 3 keys to really get moving. But we got to talk about the money.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we don't have the money, it's not going to happen, right? We got to have the money. SBA says, something like 75% of businesses fail because lack of funds. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's huge statistics about being underfunded in business. So you're leaving corporate America. Mm-hmm. You're newly married. And where does the money come from? How do you start this business? What did you do? What was the catalyst that took you to the next level?
Yeah, so key. I mean, this is one of the things that I getting exposed to other business owners, small business owners, trying to operate a business on a shoestring budget is just pain.
Right.
So what was important for me was to have that in place, prior to even me knowing what business I was going to get into, but having a plan. For me personally, I felt like my 401k, and this is one of the products I used, was my return on investment would be better used if I were to convert that into cash for the business, and that's what I did. So I was able to work with actually somebody we're partnered up right now with is Guidant Financial, and working with them way back when to help me convert that into cash for the business. Again, because I didn't want to take away from our savings, right? Didn't want to take away from our investments to fund this venture, and so I found it that way. But I tell you, since then, there's been a lot more opportunity.
Yeah, there's tons of opportunity out there for funding. And a lot of it is through your local bank, right? Small banks are great. The 5 to 6 unit banks you can build a personal relationship with. You can get a line of credit. So for any of you out there thinking about starting a business, right, what we just mentioned, write this one down if you're taking notes. Maybe you're not. But get it, Guidant Financial, right? A great place to start working on your funding. Another tip, if you've got a 401k, you might think about converting it, right? So those are some of those tips. We got to have funding in place. The SBA, Small Business Administration, a lot of banks work with the SBA, and getting an SBA loan is also a great place to start. You can also move for 8A status, which is a mentoring program within the SBA. And so, there's a lot of vehicles, there's a lot of tools out there to get that capital. But if we had to give you one tip, and we had to tell you one thing to really make sure you capitalize on, is get that funding in place. If you've got the passion, and you've got the support, and you've got the plan, you got to get the funding. Harvard Business School, they call the business the horse. They call the business owner the jockey, right? So it doesn't really matter what the horse is as long as you're passionate about it. So we want to get in there. We want to focus on, what that really looks like, and then get your funding together. Because if you start your business with a shoestring budget, like Vince said, he said it's pain. Right? We've all seen that pain. So if you take something away, it's really get that funding in place. If you'd like to chat about options for funding, we're always available to help any other business owners out there. Let's do a quick recap on what we talked about today. We talked about the business plan. So getting that in place, making sure it's written, it's dialed in. Again, if you want a copy of a business plan, we'll provide one to you for free. So just reach out, let us know. We'll be that resource for you. You got to have your support. So make sure it's clear and concise with your significant other or your partner or whomever it is. Make sure that they are on board. Make sure your family is behind this. And then you got to have the passion. Is this something that I really, really want to do?
Right.
And when we have those things, then the funding. And it all comes down together. And then think about what kind of business you want. Do I want to build it from the ground up? Do I want to have fun? Do I want to learn the lessons the hard way, or do I want to explore a franchise opportunity? Franchise opportunity can really excel and push you past some of those early issues. But some of the downfall is that you got to pay some royalties, right? There's some fees that go along with that. But, if it's me and I'm reading the signs, I would rather, pay to learn about somebody else's mistakes than experience them on my own.
Absolutely.
Because it can be a lot more expensive. Trial by error. So anyways, we thank you for joining us today. We thank you for this opportunity. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'd love to engage you at that particular time. Have a great weekend, and thank you very much for listening.
Take care.